My name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will share 3 project ideas for DevOps engineers using Python. If you are trying to learn Python or if you are trying to understand how does a DevOps engineer use Python on a day-to-day basis, this is the video that you are looking for. Please watch it till the end. It's going to be very short but very informative. Project idea number 1, cloud cost optimization. Let me give a brief about this project. In the growing adoption of public cloud, everybody is moving towards public cloud. So there has to be a team who makes sure that the cloud cost is optimized. What does that mean? Let's say previously a company was using their own physical infrastructure in the private cloud, their own data centers. Let's say they're spending $10,000 per year. Now, after moving to cloud, the company wants to make sure the cloud cost is lesser than $10,000 or equal to $10,000. They're even okay with $10,000 because they have reduced the maintenance overhead. So it's AWS or Azure or GCP who is maintaining it. So either they want to keep it at $10,000 or lesser than that. But who makes sure this happens? It's the DevOps or cloud engineers who make sure that the cloud cost is optimized. I'll give you an example, which we have also discussed in day 18 of AWS DevOps Zero to Hero course. I have implemented the project as well. So I'll share the link in the description. If you want to showcase this project in your resume, yes, you can use that video and you can use the scripts in the GitHub repository of that video. But what is this project about? Just explaining in 1 minute. Let's say there is a stale EBS volumes. So developers might create a lot of EBS volumes. They might create snapshots from the EBS volumes. But after a while, if they decide this is not required, probably they would shut down the EC2 instance, but forget that they have created volumes or forget that they have created snapshots out of the volumes. Sometimes they might also delete the volumes, but there are some stale EBS snapshots. Now, if you're not deleting this, AWS is going to charge for that. So if there is one person who is doing it, there is no problem. But as the magnitude keeps growing, over the years, this cost is significant. And this is just an example. This is true if DevOps engineers find that the development team is not using proper S3 lifecycle management. Even there, DevOps engineers can pitch in and implement this project. So here we use Python because this can be implemented very easily using the serverless application model. So again, I have explained in detail how to do this, but you can create a Lambda function. Whenever a EBS snapshot, you find a stale EBS snapshot, using the Lambda function, you can understand who created this, for which EC2 instance, for which volume this is created against, and then you can perform some analysis. And if you realize that it's a stale volume, either you can delete it or you can send a notification through SNS. And because this is a short-lived execution, serverless is the best way to do it. And Lambda functions, you can typically write it in Python, Node.js, but for DevOps engineers, Python is the best choice. This is project idea number 1. Again, if you want to implement it, you can find day 18 AWS DevOps Zero to Hero series, and everything is available with Python code as well as explanation. Project idea number 2. AWS configuration for compliance. So every organization has their own compliance, right? What is compliance? In a nutshell, a organization defines some set of rules that, according to the security that we want to achieve, we want these things to be done by the developers. We want these things to be done by the QA engineers. Or, they have set of rules which has to be followed by everyone. And now let's say organization has a rule that every EC2 instance that is created should have proper tags. Say that this EC2 instance has this particular tag to be mandatory. It has to have this particular tag. Now, why is this thing? Probably organization want to track EC2 instances using tags, which development team has created this EC2 instance or who has created this EC2 instance. Now, let's say someone creates EC2 instance against the compliance of organization. So they would not create tags. How organization is going to understand who has created this later point of time? Of course, there is IAM roles, all of these things, but I'm just giving an example that someone has created an EC2 instance and tags have to be mandatory to understand which project owns how many number of EC2 instances, not by person, but by project. So here what you can do again to meet the compliance, you can run this AWS config. AWS config is a service. And in this service, to define your custom rules, you can write Lambda functions and attach to the AWS config. And this AWS config will let you know if your resources are compliant or non-compliant. So again, we have done this project day 25, AWS Devops 0 to Hero series. I have the Python code already in the GitHub repository, the complete project explanation. And in the video, you also have the live demo. So again, this video link will be in the description. So please try to follow it. Finally, the third project idea, GitHubjira Integration. Again, this is a very common choice. That is, let's say a developer creates a pull request in the GitHub repository, and another developer would review the GitHub pull request, says that everything is fine. Now I want to create a Jira request for QE tracking, probably for tracking the testing related activities, or they would just go on the GitHub and comment /Jira. And when they comment /Jira, they want a Jira ticket to be created against the GitHub pull request, just for the tracking purpose, to understand what they are performing in GitHub is also reflected on the Jira dashboard, because Jira is the place where organization tracks the work, right? Probably this person is reviewing 100 GitHub pull requests, and he wants this to be tracked in Jira. So they will come to you and ask that, Abhishek, can you do something here? I will just comment /Jira and I want a Jira ticket to be created. So GitHubjira integration is a very common thing in many organizations. And what you would do here is you would write GitHub webhooks. So you will create the GitHub webhook in the settings page. And what GitHub does is it will ask you for your Python application URL. You can host this on an EC2 instance. You can host it anywhere. Just write a Python application. It can be in Flask or it can be a simple Python application. And GitHub would send the entire payload. Payload is nothing but the JSON information. It would send the complete JSON information to your Python application. And in the Python application, you would traverse through the JSON. That means you would go through the JSON and you will take the required information and you will make a call to the Jira API. And in the Jira API, you will get this information from GitHub. What is the description of the GitHub pull request? Who has created it? Who is the reviewer? And you will take that information and upload to the Jira. And your Jira ticket is created. If you want, you can again upload this information back to GitHub. As a comment, you can create an API request to GitHub and comment on that particular GitHub pull request saying that Jira ticket is created. So again, this is a very, very popular integration. I have not implemented it, but I will definitely implement it in the Python series. Whenever I'm going to do the Python series, you will see this implementation and you can add all of these projects in your resume, whether it can be cloud cost optimization, AWS configuration for compliance, or GitHubjira integration. For now, the two projects are already implemented on the channel. So you can take those scripts and you can implement it and you can put that in your project. But the project number 3, I'll implement in the future. So that would be as part of our Python series. So this is the thing. Many people are asking, how does a DevOps engineer use Python? So I wanted to make a quick video and share you some project ideas. I hope you found this video informative. You can also make use of ChatGPT and ask more questions. Probably you are not understanding more scenarios about AWS configuration for compliance. Just type the same thing and ask ChatGPT, can you give me some examples? And it will provide you more examples. Also, we will be doing more when we do the Python series. So yeah, again, if you like this video, please share it with the people who are finding or searching for Python project ideas for DevOps. Take care, everyone. See you all in the next video. Bye-bye.